competition where you can pick up 1 point for running up. Australia then plays Scotland in this Emirates Airlines Dubai Sevens. These two last met, drew on the Gold Coast, 21 points each. It was a good comeback from Scotland on that occasion. Australia went through and lost the final to New Zealand. Michael O'Connor selects a strong side with Jesse Parry, he and Con Foley, and the outstanding Ed Jenkins, who captains the squad up front. Lewis Holland plays in his 19th tournament and will look to add to his try total of 46 tries. On the bench, James Stannard is an outstanding playmaker. Shannon Walker will look to add to tries as well. Up front for Scotland, young Chris Dean is starting to make a name for himself. Colin Gregor captains the squad and is Scotland's top point scorer of all time with 934 points. Lee Jones, capped by Scotland at 15s, returns to add pace on the wing. Alongside me, Gavin Cowley, and Gavin, just the atmosphere starting to lift that little bit as we go through. This is match 5 on day 1, Pool B, of course, and some fantastic ties also coming up. Wales versus Spain, England, Canada, Fiji, United States, South Africa, Russia, Samoa, Argentina. So it's a feast of rugby ahead of us. But for this game, well, I suppose it go two ways. But for Michael O'Connor's team, I know, having started so well on the Gold Coast, he's looking to improve upon that performance. Marius van der Westhuizen from the South Africa will officiate this game.
That's beautifully put. I thought you might struggle a little bit with the Van der Westhuizen. You've got it spot on. Now I've just got to keep you honest with the Scottish side out there. But they certainly have got some good experience in their side. Andrew Turnbull, always a favourite of mine. And Australia, well, we know their capabilities too. A lot of experience in their side, despite the fact that Cameron Clark is not here.
Well, Stephen Gemmell, the Scotland team coach, reckons that he's just had the best 2 weeks ever in terms of preparation with Scotland. Let's see if they can deliver. Let's see if Australia can deliver on their form in the Gold Coast. Kickoff retained by Chris Dean for Scotland. But look how Australia pile over the top illegally, says referee Van der Westhuizen. So early ball for Scotland. Quick look at Lee Jones, originally from the Selkirk club in the Scottish Borders. Switch play with Dean. Scotland noted for being the one team that handle the ball probably more than any other team on the circuit. Their challenge is scoring tries.
2 breakdown penalties, and that's often the area where there's a lot of difficulties for teams to concentrate. But here's some brilliant running here by Australia.
Fantastic run, Greg Jeldudev. And sometimes when a player just decides to have a go and attacks a defensive alignment like that, it's Australia just starting off well. He even got the boots to match his strip colour as well.
He's scored a few tries in his career too. 27 then to Greg Jeldudev. And just have a look at this there. He saw the space opening up, tucked the ball under the arm, and Scotland just didn't manage to shift defensively quickly enough.
Jeldudev adds the additional 2 points to his try. Yeah, thumbs up for the youngster, Sydney University. He's 22 this week, so he's having an extra birthday present.
How you doing?
So the kickoff so important. Lewis Holland, look at the hang time on this ball. Ball's allowed to bounce. This possession absolutely key. Lewis Holland brings it back this near side. Strong play from Jesse Parry. Parry just gets behind that Scottish defence. Now ball set for the backs. This is the attack of Luke Morahan. Just puts the little dink chip in. Morahan, will he collect his own chip? He does, but Colin Gregor gets back there to make a try-saving tackle for Scotland. Ball's loose. Free try for Australia. It popped out, and Lewis Holland gets the second try for Scotland. Scotland at the moment have been caught with a cold.
Oh, just watching defensively, just look at the malalignment there, the Scots, as they came up. They looked for the half-moon defence to try and close things over. And again, we see the value of a good kick. a kick where you can retain possession. Very well done on that occasion by Morahan. And then, of course, the finishing touches there by Lewis Holland.
Well, Luke Morahan can play wing or centre. Played against the British Lions in the summer. Was due to go to the Gold Coast and got called into the Wallabies training squad. Ball taken by Alex Glashan. This is Colin Gregor, the Scotland skipper. 64 tries to his name, 934 points. But Scotland, well, that's a loose pass deep towards their own line. Well picked up by John Houston. On the outside, Glashan now. Has Glashan got the legs? You can see him being trapped by 3 Australians there. Ball's out of play though. So Scotland having to attack from deep but lose the possession on the far side.
Yeah, it's well organised defence that by Australia. Didn't commit themselves too early and just made sure that they shepherded Alex Glashan into a difficult situation where they have the throw in now, Australia.
Well, that's a wee bit squint there, Jesse Parahi. Can't be much wind out there, Gavin, to throw a squint one, but occasionally it happens.
Look, we is actually meant to translate as small, doesn't it? That was way, way wide, that one. Some relief here for Scotland.
So Glashan, he'll have the ball into the scrum. Made his debut on the Gold Coast last year. This is his 5th tournament, 5 tries. This is Glashan. Just trying to stretch play. Kind of ran out of room there and had to go to deck. And when you go to deck, you then got to try and go in and secure ball. Lewis Holland on Colin Gregor did well there. Riddell to Lee Jones. Lee Jones spins and burls, gets up on his feet. He wasn't held. Riddell gets on the support. Now, has he got the pace? He doesn't, so he turns back inside. This is Mark Robertson, son of former Scotland Rugby International centre Keith Robertson from the Melrose Club in the Scottish Borders. Christine takes it. Scotland's continuity game coming to the fore. You can see how they try and offload the pass from the contact. "21 passes completed by Scotland." So Risak and Dean has a little show. Gets well tackled there by Jalyudev. Now to Robertson. Robertson. Up to the 10-yard line. Scotland go 12-0 to Australia. 1.5 minutes. It's important that if Scotland are going to get back into this game, they try and score from this attack. But Australia's defence is good. They're making plenty of tackles. 19 tackles completed by Australia. This is Colin Gregor. So Gregor cuts the line on the defence and he'll score and go over for his try. That's his 65th try in the IRB 7 series. Scotland skipper, you notice he just didn't ground the ball. He went behind the post. It makes his conversion that much easier. And Scotland back in this tie.
Well, Australia got themselves a little bit disorganised here. Jesse Parry just seemed to bump into his man and then the space opened, but it was very well read that by Colin Gregor, and it's a very important try for Scotland.
Gregor then converts his own try. Extends his points total to 941 for Scotland, and the highest ever points scorer for Scotland, Colin Gregor. There's a bit of a habit of staying on the field in every game. Indeed, last season he did that, with the exception of the tournament in Las Vegas where he had to come off. So there you are, 941 points. My calculator batteries were working well there. Gregor with the restart. 10 seconds on the clock. Possession key in the game. Can the kick be good for Scotland? It falls in the hand of Lewis Holland. Holland up to the 10-yard line. There's the half-time hooter. Jesse Parahi. Little kick and chip here. Well, was that a late challenge? It was, according to the touch judge. Oh, but excellent play and follow-up. That was Lewis Holland showing great pace down the wing. Now, there was a player taken out there on the chip through.
Yes. Okay, just a chat for me. Okay. Yeah, just fun.
So, some words there from the assistant referee, Lewis Holland. There's some terrific rugby there. Just shows you the value of a good kick to, well, that wasn't a good one, but there's the kick downfield, stayed in field, and some great pace here from Holland. He's got his left shoulder in front of Lee Jones and managed to slip over.
Half-time then in this Pool B game, match 5. Australia leads Scotland by 17 points to 7. Let's listen into the respective coaches at the half-time huddles. First you'll hear the voice of Stephen Gemmell.
As a player out there, I'd be too scared not to do what he tells me to do. He was very vociferous, but something you mentioned in the first half as well, Scott. 31 passes completed by Scotland, one of the teams that regularly are able to complete many, many passes. They've just got to find a little bit more directness, I think, in the second half, and trailing by those 10 points.
Half-time score, 17-7 in Australia's favour. So Australia kick off there in the yellow jerseys, collected on this occasion by John Houston. Houston had to go to deck, and Scotland now playing their patterns of play. Glashan takes the angle, Lee Jones comes in, and there's that man Holland again, the relish for the tackle. Scott Riddell out wide to John Houston. Houston, who was with Edinburgh, played in the Heineken Cup on numerous occasions, so you can see the style, the continuity of Scotland. Mark Robertson just floats the pass to Christine. Super tackle that came in there from Nick Malouf. Scotland through Glashan, manages to get the offload. Lee Jones spins, there's space out on the wide flanks. That's where Scotland are looking for. Colin Gregor outside Houston. This is Gregor, doesn't have the pace to go outside, but makes the cut, and he'll be in under the post. So Colin Gregor, the Scotland captain, gets Scotland within touching distance of this Australian team. Wonderful flowing sevens there from Scotland.
Terrific. Just the ball went through so many hands there. And you see the passes completed have shot up from 31 to 48 as they moved it out wide. And really good reading of the play there by Colin Gregor. He just had the patience, had a look, saw a little bit of space on the inside. There wasn't a huge gap. He's not the quickest man. Just his awareness of where the players are and just held off. And that's a really good score.
And you said he's not the quickest, and that's why he didn't go on the outside break, but he just, again, his alertness, his awareness, that spatial awareness is so important within the sevens game. Gregor then, he'll convert his own try here. 2 points added, 2 converted tries, all points, well, we'll just say Australia 17, Colin Gregor 14. Again, the importance of possession. And the kick-off from Gregor. It was a good kick, knocked on by Australia. So he absolutely nailed it. The forwards didn't quite read it.
Absolutely outstanding kick this. You could just see the pressure there. All the Scots in a position to actually attack the ball. They didn't need to because it was knocked on. Australia at the moment, 25 tackles they've made against the 4 of Scotland. So they really are being pressed.
Scrum on the Australian 10-yard line. Alex Glashan will have the put in. Has a keen interest in cricket as well. The Scotland team, incidentally, out here trying to qualify for the 2020 World Cup. Dean gets Robertson. Robertson with that overhead pass finds Houston. Houston well tackled by Jel Yudev, the try scorer for Australia in the first half, who opened the scoring, but a knock on, and suddenly that ebb and flow of the game, the scales shift in Australia's favour.
Also see some stepping there from Australia at the breakdown point just to help control the possession for them. It's very difficult to defend against that. Player steps over the ball, so it's hard to get to it.
Well, here's a guy who can really run. Shannon Walker, watch the pace of this guy. Will he get outside Lee Jones? Lee Jones, the experience perhaps shown with Lee Jones in the defensive duties, but look how Australia retain that possession. Ed Jenkins with a wide ball out wide. Jelyudev ducks into the tackle of Mark Robertson. Now Australia spreading play once again on this near side. Nick Malouf, but the ball just bumbles into touch, so a mistake, a lack of concentration from Australia, and I love the way that this game is in the balance.
I think they're quite preoccupied with playing wide, Australia. They really are trying to stretch the Scots with the game, but they're not getting the opportunities, because Scotland are happy to play backwards at times to go forward.
Christine cuts an angle. Can they get off the pass to Gregor? Look how they're supporting each other, the Scots. This is a real opportunity for Scotland now. 2-on-1. Houston. Now, can he get it under the post to extend Scotland's lead? He can. So Scotland, as they did in the Gold Coast, coming back to Australia. You heard Stephen Gemmell's inspirational half-time talk. Remember the Gold Coast. That gave him the confidence. And Scotland edge into the lead by 19 points to 17 with Colin Gregor's conversion to come.
Straight in front for Colin Gregor. A terrific play this really, John Houston, but it went through the hands, and again those passes completed up to 59 against the 15 of Australia. Scotland have absolutely stunned Australia in the second half.
Well, as Colin Gregor converts the try. 21 points to 17. Alex Glashan comes off, and well, the attacking threat of Andrew Turnbull comes on from the bench, and Turnbull, who scored 127 tries for Scotland, this is his 51st tournament, will be desperate to add to that tally. Now a crucial kickoff for Scotland. If they retain the possession, they'll fancy their chances to see out this game, but Australia, well, they'll want to get that possession, and they've got a minute to score to win the tie. Attack on the far side, Maltman, Michael Maltman to Robertson, to Gregor. They're attacking down the short side. There was a call from out wide actually from Scotland just to keep hold of the ball. 30 seconds though. James Johnson has a cut. Johnson cuts in against the grain. Recycle possession for Scotland, but held now. Robertson, if you just take their time, use the clock, they can actually go for a penalty here, which will be a drop goal penalty to add the 3 points and eat down the clock.
Well, looks like they've decided to do just that. Terrific play again from John Houston to secure possession to make sure that Australia were in spot.
Well, was that Stephen Gemmell looking nervous there? There's the half-time hooter, so let's see what happens here. Colin Gregor, doesn't matter if he's missed it, because that's a victory for Scotland, and well-earned. Scotland coming back into that game, having been down at half-time, so Scotland get the honours in that game. They beat Australia 21 points to 17.